Egypt to develop Assab and Dorala ports. Egypt has agreed to develop strategic ports in Eritrea and Djibouti, the national newspaper in Abu Dhabi reported, citing sources in Cairo. This is expected to increase pressure on Ethiopia, which is landlocked due to the ongoing dispute over the Nile River. Egypt has agreed to modernize the port of Assab in Eritrea and the Dorala port in Djibouti on the Gulf of Aden, according to secret agreements. This will include increasing the capacity of the ports, as well as building docks for warships and a small number of special commando units. Both ports are located near Bab el-Mandeb, the southern entrance to the Red Sea and a vital sea route connecting Europe, the Middle East, Asia, and East Africa. Ethiopia, which borders both countries Eritrea and Djibouti, is heavily dependent on the Dorala port for its trade. As such, it has long resisted attempts by neighboring countries to establish territorial or military control over its main seaport, the Red Sea. In a statement made in mid-November this year, Ethiopian Foreign Minister Gideon Timothy, Dr., reaffirmed that secure access to the Assab port is a top national and strategic interest of Ethiopia. The Gambella conflict has escalated. The international medical charity Doctors Without Borders, MSF, said that the conflict in Gambella has escalated yesterday. The group said in a statement that it had treated more than 100 weapon-wounded people on Wednesday alone. The group, which said it had treated 50 wounded people, including 19 people with serious injuries, in the past 48 hours since it began providing medical assistance to patients injured in the conflict at the Kule refugee camp last Wednesday, said it had treated more than 150 wounded people in the past 7 days. The group said that many people had lost their lives and suffered injuries since the conflict began, and that the number of wounded patients admitted to the hospital could increase if the conflict continues. The group noted that the Gambella City Hospital had suspended outpatient services for the entire week due to the large number of wounded people and that other medical services were also disrupted. The group expressed deep concern for the safety of civilians and called for the protection of patients, health workers, and medical facilities from attacks. The number of people, including children, who have fled the Amhara region in search of a better life and are migrating to other areas is horrifying, regional council members said. The Regional Education Bureau said that only 36% of secondary school students in the Amhara region have returned to school in the past 5 months. This was announced when the Bureau presented its 5-month performance report to the Regional Council's regular meeting. The council members cited various reasons for students absent from school, including war, persecution, day labor, and discouragement from education. In some areas, they said, it was not even possible to obtain information on the current status of students who have not returned to school. A council member pointed out that the education sector is in trouble and said that in various areas, even parents of students have not been able to get information about the whereabouts of their children. If there is no information, how can these students be returned? He asked. In the Amhara region, it is said that even areas where migration was not a habit before, migration has now become a habit. This practice is very dangerous, the council members said, adding that it is young people in their teens who are crossing the Abay Desert, and there is no doubt that these young people are migrating because of their health. The productive workforce is leaving the region. The council member said that in the city of Dijon, we are very shocked by what we have seen in the last 2 or 3 days. These children, who are not yet fully educated, become human carriers and shepherds, he said. The Regional Education Bureau, for its part, said that only 36% of secondary school students have returned to school in the past 5 months in the Amhara region. The region was scheduled to enroll 7.4 million students from pre-primary to secondary school in the past 5 months, but due to the lack of peace, only 4.3 or 58.2% were able to enroll, Otto Tylahan, the head of the Bureau, indicated in his report. With this, pre-primary enrollment is 85%, primary enrollment is 58%, and secondary enrollment is only 36%, Otto Tylahan explained. Although the rate of students going to school is better compared to last year, the problem is especially worse in Gajam zones, and the enrollment rate is 18%. So we need to discuss it and find a solution, the Education Bureau said. This is said to be a major threat to the region's production of qualified human resources and competitiveness. The head of the office said that a large number of schools in the Amhara region have been completely destroyed due to the ongoing fighting and that students have been ordered to learn under the shelters. Regional Governor Ethio-Eritrea Kabeda, for his part, explained that the region's education system is in crisis and said that it is better to work together to overcome this. Stating that the main problem for students is not attending school, Ethio-Eritrea pointed out that education was a sector that was in crisis in the region even before the conflict. Regional Governor Eritrea did not comment on the alleged high rate of migration and displacement in the region during the meeting broadcast by the regional media. Regional Council Chief Speaker Ms. Fondates Faye, in her opening speech, said that the residents of the region are tired of bearing the war and called on the militants to come to peace and dialogue. The speaker, who noted that the ongoing fighting has led to a crisis in all sectors, said that the past 2.5 years are sufficient evidence that fighting leads nowhere. President Donald Trump said the United States has carried out a powerful and destructive attack on the Islamic State (IS) terrorist group in northwestern Nigeria. The leader of the superpower described the IS as a vicious terrorist group and accused it of targeting innocent Christians and killing them in a brutal manner. Trump said the U.S. military had carried out multiple strikes that were successful and did not miss their targets. The U.S. Africa Command, AFRICOM, said Thursday's attack was carried out in coordination with Nigeria and Sokoto State. Nigerian Foreign Minister Yusuf Maitama-Tugar told the BBC that the attack was a coordinated campaign targeting terrorists and was not linked to any particular religion. The minister said further attacks were possible, but that this would depend on the decisions made by the leaders of the two countries. Trump wrote on his Twitter account on Thursday night, "Under my leadership, my country will not allow radical Islamic terrorism to spread." Donald Trump had previously ordered the U.S. military to prepare for action against Islamist militant groups operating in Nigeria in November.